I don't know how to start this. I've written this letter 11 times and burned every version because none of them felt honest enough for what I'm about to do to your reality. But you deserve the truth. You've always deserved it. And I'm done pretending. My name isn't what I told you. The name you saved in your phone, the name you've been calling me for 7 years, that person doesn't exist. He was a character, a role, a carefully constructed identity designed specifically for you. Every detail about him was engineered in a room you'll never see, by people whose faces I was never allowed to know. His favorite movie? Chosen because psychological profiling predicted you'd connect with someone who loved that film. His sense of humor? Calibrated to match your wavelength exactly. That scar on his arm? Self-inflicted during training to give him a backstory that would make you trust him faster. I was hired to be your friend. Let that sink in. Take all the time you need. I know right now your mind is racing through every memory, every conversation, every moment you thought was real. I know you're questioning everything. You should be, but please, keep reading, because what I'm about to tell you is bigger than betrayal. What I'm about to reveal explains things about your life that have never made sense until now. They approached me in 2017. I was a struggling actor, 3 months behind on rent, eating ramen for dinner and pride for breakfast. A man in a gray suit found me outside an audition I'd just bombed. He didn't introduce himself. He just said, "How would you like a role that pays 6 figures annually, requires no auditions, and lasts as long as you can maintain it?" I laughed, thought it was a scam. Then he showed me a photograph. It was you. Not a glamorous photo, not something staged, just you, walking somewhere ordinary, completely unaware you were being captured. And something about the way he held that photograph, something about the weight in his voice when he said, "This is your subject," made my blood cool. I should have walked away. I should have asked questions, but I was desperate. And desperate people make desperate choices. So I signed a contract I didn't fully read and became someone I've hated every day since. The training took 4 months. 4 months in a facility I was transported to blindfolded. 4 months learning everything about you. Your childhood, your fears, your patterns, your wounds. They had files on you that would make your skin crawl. Photographs from angles that shouldn't exist. Transcripts of conversations you had in rooms you thought were private. They knew what you dreamed about before you told anyone. They knew what made you laugh and what made you spiral at 3 a.m. They knew the exact frequency of loneliness you operated on, and they trained me to match it perfectly. I was given a script for our first meeting. Not word for word, but beats to hit, emotional targets to aim for. They told me exactly where to stand, so our paths would cross naturally. They told me what to wear, so I'd seem approachable, but not threatening. They told me how many seconds to wait before making eye contact, and how to time my smile so it felt spontaneous. You thought you met me by accident. There are no accidents in your life. Not anymore. Maybe not ever. The first year was the hardest. Not because the role was difficult, because you were so genuine. You trusted so easily. Not in a naive way, but in a way that showed you'd been hurt and still chose to stay open. Every time you confided in me, I felt like glass cracking. Every time you called me your friend, I had to remind myself I was being paid to answer. I wrote reports on you every week, detailed psychological assessments disguised as friendship updates. What you said about your family, how you reacted to stress, who you were texting, what you looked like when you thought no one was watching. They were building a profile on you so detailed it could predict your choices before you made them, and I was their primary source. But here's where it gets complicated. Here's where I need you to understand that this letter isn't just confession, it's warning. By year 2, I started asking why. Why you? Why this level of surveillance? Why spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on a long-term infiltration operation for someone living what appeared to be an ordinary life? My handlers never answered directly, but I listened. I watched them watching you. I noticed patterns that weren't meant for me to see. You weren't being monitored like a threat. You were being monitored like an asset, like something they were protecting, or containing, or waiting to activate. There were meetings I wasn't supposed to know about. Conference calls where your name was spoken in tones usually reserved for national security concerns. I overheard fragments, phrases that didn't make sense at first. The window is approaching. The subject shows no awareness of potential. Suppression protocols remain effective. I didn't understand. I still don't fully understand. But I understood enough to realize you are not who you think you are, and neither are the people around you. They told me my job was friendship. But my real job was delay. Keep you comfortable. Keep you distracted. Keep you from asking the questions that would unravel everything. Every time you got close to something, every time you started wondering why your life felt slightly off, I was there to redirect, to validate your doubts just enough to make them feel heard, then steer you back to safety, back to sleep. You've had thoughts, haven't you? Moments where you felt like something was watching. Instincts that told you certain people weren't being honest. Dreams that felt more like memories of things that haven't happened yet. You dismissed them. You rationalized them. You told yourself you were being paranoid. You weren't. Your instincts are the most dangerous thing about you. That's why they hired me. Not to spy on what you do, but to intercept what you might become if left alone with your own thoughts for too long. I need to tell you about the night I almost quit. Year 4. You were going through something brutal. I won't name it because it's yours to name, but I watched you break down in a way that wasn't in any file. No one predicted it. No report prepared me. You were just human, devastatingly beautifully human. And you let me see it, because you trusted me. I held you while you cried, and for 13 minutes I forgot I was acting. For 13 minutes I was just your friend. Genuinely. No performance. No protocol. Just two people in a hard moment, and one of them had no idea the other was a lie. When I got home that night, I wrote my resignation, sealed it, addressed it. Then my phone rang. Unknown number. A voice I'd never heard before, deeper than my handlers, older somehow, said only this: "If you abandon the assignment, we will not come for you. We will reconstruct your subject's memory of you entirely. She will believe you died. She will grieve someone who never existed. And you will watch her mourn a ghost while knowing you caused it." I burned the resignation letter. I kept acting, and I hated myself in ways I didn't know hatred could reach. But something changed after that night. You changed. Or maybe you just started becoming what you were always supposed to be. I watched you grow in ways my reports couldn't capture. You started trusting yourself more, questioning patterns, walking away from people and situations that didn't serve you. You began operating with an instinct that my handlers found deeply concerning. The reports I wrote shifted. I started lying in them. Not dramatically, just enough to protect you. I downplayed your awareness. I exaggerated your distractions. I made you seem more controllable than you were becoming. I don't know if they noticed. Maybe they did. Maybe that's why I'm writing this now instead of continuing the operation. 2 weeks ago, I was summoned to a meeting I wasn't supposed to attend. Technical error, they claimed. Wrong room assignment. But I don't believe in errors anymore. I think someone wanted me to hear what I heard. They're planning something. A transition, they called it. Your window is opening, and they're debating whether to guide you through it or seal it permanently. There were people on that call who wanted you eliminated. Not killed, eliminated. As if the word meant something different in their vocabulary. Others argued you were too valuable, too rare. That what you carry isn't something they can replicate if they destroy you. I don't know what you carry. I don't know what window they're talking about, but I know they're afraid of it. And I know they've been keeping you in the dark about your own existence, because the moment you see clearly, something changes, something they can't control. That's why I'm writing this. Not to apologize. An apology would be an insult after 7 years of performed intimacy. I'm writing this because you need to know that your paranoia was perception. Your loneliness was engineered. Your doubt was installed. Every time you felt crazy for sensing something was off, you were actually the sanest person in the room. You have enemies you've never met. You have allies you don't know exist. And somewhere in the architecture of your life, there's a door they've been keeping you from finding. I don't know where the door is. I was never told. I was only told to keep you looking in other directions. But I watched you long enough to know you'll find it. You've always found things you weren't supposed to find. It's why they're so afraid of leaving you alone. Here's what I need you to do. Don't trust anyone who entered your life easily. Examine every relationship that felt destined, because the ones that feel most natural might be the most manufactured. I wasn't the only one. There were others. I saw names in files, people you work with, people you've dated. That neighbor who always seemed a little too available. Some of them know what they are. Some of them don't. Some of them are like me, writing letters they'll never send. Poisoned by guilt, but paralyzed by fear. Start questioning everything. Not with paranoia, but with clarity. There's a difference. Paranoia is fear-based chaos. Clarity is pattern recognition. You have an extraordinary capacity for seeing connections others miss. They've spent 7 years trying to scramble that signal. Stop letting them. Your memories are mostly real. They didn't erase anything. They just added noise. People and moments designed to distract from what you already knew. Strip away the additions and you'll find yourself still there, underneath, waiting. I'm leaving after I send this. I don't know where. I don't know if they'll find me. I've made arrangements that might buy me time, but I'm operating against people whose resources I've never seen the full scope of. If I disappear, don't mourn me. The person you thought was your friend was never real. Mourn him if you need to. He deserved better than to be a weapon used against someone like you. But I was real in moments. The night I held you while you cried, that was real. The time you made me laugh so hard I forgot to file a report for 3 days, real. The conversations we had at 2 a.m. when you couldn't sleep, and I pretended I couldn't either, just to keep you company. Parts of those were real. I wasn't supposed to feel anything. I did anyway. That's my failure, and my only redemption. You're going to be angry. You should be. Let yourself be angry, but don't let the anger become another cage. They're counting on your trauma to keep you frozen. They're betting you'll spiral into distrust. so total that you'll never move forward. Prove them wrong. You have something they want, something they fear, something they've spent nearly a decade trying to suppress without destroying. I don't know what it is, but I've seen it flicker in moments when you didn't know anyone was watching. Moments of clarity that seemed to stop time. Moments of knowing that bypassed logic entirely. Moments when you looked at me and I could swear you saw through every layer to the liar underneath. Maybe you always knew. Maybe some part of you recognized the performance and chose to love me anyway, because that's who you are. Someone who sees broken things and doesn't run. I was broken when they hired me. I'm more broken now, but breaking isn't always destruction. Sometimes it's how light gets in. I learned that from watching you survive things that should have ended you. You turned your wounds into weapons and your pain into perception. They didn't anticipate that. They don't understand resilience that isn't taught. Find the door. Walk through it. Become whatever it is they've been terrified of. And if you ever think of me, don't remember the friend I pretended to be. Remember the coward who took 7 years to tell you the truth, but told you anyway. That part finally was real. I won't sign this with the name you know. That name belongs to a character who's finally dead. But I'll sign it with this. I'm sorry I wasn't brave enough to be your friend for real. You deserved someone who chose you, not someone who was assigned. You'll find those people. Real ones. I promise. Just be careful. Not everyone crying at your door is crying real tears. Some of us learned how to cry on command, and some of them still work for the people who sent me.
You are too available. That is your problem. You are always there, always ready, always answering the call before the phone even rings twice. You think this makes you loyal. You think this makes you valuable, but you are wrong. Dead wrong. In this world, things that are abundant are cheap. Air is free, so nobody thinks about it until it's gone. Gold is rare, so people kill for it. You have made yourself into air. You are everywhere, filling their lungs, keeping them alive, and they don't even notice you. They breathe you in and breathe you out without a second thought. If you want them to value you, if you want them to be absolutely terrified of losing you, you have to stop being air. You have to become gold. You have to become scarce. You see, human beings are simple, predictable creatures. They only appreciate what they have to work for. They only fear losing what they cannot control. And right now, they control you completely. They know exactly what you are going to say. They know exactly how you are going to react. You have become a comfortable old shoe to them, reliable, safe, boring. And do you know what people do with old shoes? They toss them in the back of the closet and forget about them until they need to walk through the mud. You are being used for the mud work, while they save their best energy for people who actually challenge them. It is time to flip the script. It is time to make them question reality, and you are going to do it without uttering a single syllable of complaint. You are not going to ask for more attention. You are not going to beg for respect. Begging is for dogs. You are a wolf. You are going to withdraw, not with a bang, but with a whisper. You are going to pull your energy back so slowly, so deliberately, that by the time they realize you are gone, it will be too late. The cold will have already set in. Here is the truth that hurts. You have been feeding their ego. Every time you text back instantly, every time you double text when they ignore you, every time you explain yourself, you are handing them power. You are saying, my time is worth nothing. Please take it. You need to stop that immediately. Silence is not just the absence of noise. Silence is a void, and nature abhors a vacuum. When you stop talking, when you stop engaging, you create a vacuum in their life. And do you know what happens? They will panic. They will scramble to fill it. They will start to wonder, why isn't he responding? Why does he look so unbothered? Did I do something wrong? Or worse, did he find someone better? That is the seed of fear. You plant it with your silence, and you water it with your absence. You let their own insecurities do the work for you. You don't have to threaten them. You don't have to yell. Their own mind will create a nightmare scenario where you move on and become successful without them. And that, my friend, is a nightmare they cannot wake up from. You have to understand the psychology of loss. People are more motivated by the fear of losing something than the desire to gain something. They are comfortable right now because they think they have you in their pocket. They think you are a guarantee. You need to become a gamble. You need to become a risk. When you walk into a room, don't look for them. Don't seek their eye contact. Walk in like you own the place. Handle your business and leave. Be polite, be brief, and be gone. They will try to bait you. Oh, they will try. They will throw out little insults, little tests to see if they can still trigger you. They want to see if they can still press your buttons. This is the moment where most people fail. They get emotional. They snap back. And the moment you snap back, you lose. You prove that they still control you. You prove that they still live rent-free in your head. Do not give them that satisfaction. When they try to provoke you, look at them with dead eyes. Look at them like you're looking through a glass wall. Give them nothing, no anger, no sadness, just indifference. Indifference is the ultimate power move. Love and hate are two sides of the same coin. But indifference means you have ascended. It means they no longer exist on your frequency. When you treat them like a stranger, like a background character in the movie of your life, it destroys their ego. It makes them feel small. It makes them feel invisible. And for a narcissist, for a manipulator, being invisible is a fate worse than death. You need to become the mystery they can never solve. Stop posting your every move. Stop telling them your plans. Stop sharing your dreams with people who only want to shoot them down. Move in the shadows. Let them hear about your success from other people. Let them see you winning from a distance. There is nothing more terrifying than an ex or a friend who goes silent and then suddenly levels up. It makes them realize that they were the problem. They were the anchor dragging you down. And now that you have cut the rope, you are soaring. This requires discipline. It requires you to kill the part of you that craves their validation. You have to be willing to walk alone. You have to be willing to sit in the quiet. It will be hard at first. You will want to check your phone. You will want to reach out. But you must resist. You must be colder than ice. Every time you resist the urge to contact them, you grow stronger. You are taking your pieces back off the board. You are rebuilding your fortress. Think about the ocean. It is beautiful, right? But it is also terrifying. Why? Because it is deep. Because you don't know what is beneath the surface. Be the ocean on the surface. Be calm. But underneath, have a depth they cannot comprehend. Let them feel that if they make one wrong move, they will drown in your absence. You are not being malicious. You are simply respecting yourself. You are setting a price for access to your life, and the price just went up. You think being good is a weakness, don't you? You look around at this world, at the liars, the snakes, the people who would step over their own mothers for $1, and you think you're losing. You think that because you have a heart, because you have a code, that you are soft, that you are prey. But let me tell you something. You are dead wrong. Being good in a world that is rotten to the core isn't weakness. It is the most dangerous form of rebellion there is. You want to know what real power is? It's not screwing people over. It's not manipulating them for a quick gain. Real power is walking through hell and refusing to let the flames change you. Real power is looking the devil in the eye and not blinking. You see, people, they expect filth. They expect betrayal. They wake up every single day putting on their armor, preparing to be stabbed in the back, preparing to lie, to cheat, to steal, just to survive. They're terrified, weak little creatures, constantly looking over their shoulders. And then there is you. You walk into their lives and you don't play by those rules. You don't lie. You don't cheat. You help without asking for a reward. You stand tall when everyone else is crawling in the mud. And let me tell you, that terrifies them. It scares them more than violence, more than anger, more than any threat you could ever utter. Why? Because you are a mirror. When they look at you, they don't just see a good person. They see exactly what they failed to be. They see the integrity they sold for a cheap price. They see the strength they never had. Your very existence forces them to look at their own reflection, and they hate what they see. That is your weapon. That is your power. You don't need to preach. You don't need to tell them you're a good person. In fact, words ruin it. Words are for the fakes who try to convince the world they are saints while hiding their knives. No, you just exist. You just act, and let that reality burn a hole in their ego. You've been told that nice guys finish last. You've been fed this lie that you have to be savage to get respect. But look at the savages. Look at them closely. Are they respected? No, they are feared, maybe, but mostly they are despised. They are lonely. They are constantly paranoid because they know that the moment they slip, the wolves they run with will eat them alive. But you operate on a different frequency. You are the anomaly in the system. You are the glitch that they cannot calculate. When you stay true to your word, when it would be easier to lie, you disrupt their reality. When you show mercy, when you could have destroyed them, you break their worldview. They don't know how to handle you. They start wondering, what is his angle? What does he want? They can't comprehend that you don't want anything. They can't understand that you simply are who you are. And that confusion, that inability to put you in a box, that creates a fear, a respect that is unshakable. Let's get one thing straight. This isn't about being a doormat. This isn't about letting people walk all over you with a smile on your face. No, that is weakness. That is cowardice disguised as virtue. I'm talking about the kind of goodness that has teeth, the kind of goodness that sets a boundary of iron. You are good not because you are harmless, but because you are dangerous and you choose to be disciplined. You could hurt them. You could play their game better than they do, but you choose not to. That is restraint. That is power. Think about the last time you met someone genuinely good, not fake nice, but solid. It felt strange, didn't it? It felt almost uncomfortable. That is the feeling you are giving them. You are the reason someone out there, maybe someone who has been broken, beaten down, and betrayed 1,000 times, still believes that there is hope. You are the lighthouse in their storm, and they will cling to you. They will fear losing you, because if they lose you, they lose the only proof they have that the world isn't completely made of darkness. But you have to be careful, because people, they will try to drag you down. They will try to corrupt you, not because they want you to join them, but because your light hurts their eyes. They want to see you break. They want to see you snap and become just like them, so they can say, "See, I told you so." Everyone is trash. Everyone is dirty. They need you to fail to validate their own pathetic existence, but you are not going to give them that satisfaction. You are going to stand there in the middle of the chaos, unmovable. You act as if you need their validation, but you don't. You've been seeking approval from people who don't even like themselves. Stop it. Cut that cord. Your value comes from the fact that you sleep soundly at night while they stare at the ceiling, haunted by their own choices. Your value comes from the fact that your word is gold in a world of counterfeit currency. When you realize this, when you truly internalize that your character is the most expensive thing in the room, everything changes. You stop explaining yourself. You stop trying to prove you're a good person. You just are. And here is the kicker, the part that really messes with their heads. They will try to use you. They will think, "Oh, he's a good guy. I can take advantage of him." And that is when you show them the other side of the coin, the side that walks away, the side that cuts them off with zero emotion. Because a good person knows their worth. A good person knows that their time, their energy, and their presence are gifts. And when those gifts are disrespected, you remove them. You don't argue, you don't fight, you just vanish from their lives. And that absence, that void you leave behind, it will crush them. They will realize too late that they didn't just lose a friend or a partner. They lost the only real thing they ever had. They lost the person who made them feel safe, the person who made them feel human. And that regret will haunt them far more than any revenge you could ever take. Revenge is for the weak. Revenge shows you care. Indifference, removal, that is the punishment of a king. You see, being the reason someone believes in good people carries a heavy burden. It means you have to be stronger than they are. It means you have to absorb the pain of the world and not let it turn you bitter. It is a lonely road. Most people can't walk it. They give in. They get cynical. They start saying, "Screw it. If you can't beat them, join them." But not you. You are built differently. You have a fire inside you that the rain of this world cannot extinguish. They will fear your presence not because you are scary, but because you are rare. Scarcity creates value. Scarcity creates fear of loss. When you are the only source of water in a desert, people will kill to keep you close. People will tremble at the thought of you drying up. You are that water. In a spiritual wasteland, you are the only thing that sustains them. So do not dare dim your light just to make them comfortable in their darkness. Do not dare lower your standards just to fit in with the crowd. The crowd is lost. The crowd is blind. You are the one with the vision. It takes discipline to remain kind when you are surrounded by cruelty. It takes a warrior's spirit to remain gentle when you are surrounded by violence. Never mistake your kindness for weakness. It is your armor, it is your shield, and it is the very thing that makes you untouchable. Because when you know who you are, when you know that you have nothing to hide, nothing to be ashamed of, you become fearless. They can't blackmail you. They can't expose you. They can't use your secrets against you because you live in the truth. And the truth is a fire that burns up everything that is false. When you walk into a room, carry that truth. Carry that goodness like a loaded gun at your hip. Let them feel it. Let them sense that you are not to be trifled with. You are kind, yes, but you are not naive. You see them. You see right through their masks. You see the little games they play, the lies they tell, and you just smile. A calm, knowing smile. That smile will keep them up at night. They will wonder, how does he know? Why isn't he reacting? Why isn't he afraid? He isn't afraid because he is clean. He isn't afraid because he is the reason someone, somewhere, is holding on for one more day. You have a responsibility to that person. You have a responsibility to yourself to not let the world win, to not let the darkness take you. You are the resistance. Every act of kindness, every moment of patience, every time you choose the high road, you are winning a war they don't even know is being fought. So let them talk. Let them think you are soft. Let them underestimate you. That is exactly where you want them. Because while they are busy playing checkers, trying to jump over each other, you are playing chess. You are moving pieces they can't even see. You are building a legacy that will outlast their petty little dramas. They will fade away. Their lies will catch up to them. Their structures will crumble. But you will remain. Stone by stone, act by act, you are building something eternal. Don't you get it? You are the prize. They should be terrified of losing you. They should be waking up every morning grateful that you are still in their corner. And the moment they forget that, the moment they treat you like an option, you remind them of the reality, not with words, but by withdrawing your light. Let them sit in the cold. Let them remember what it feels like to be alone in the dark. They will come, running back. They always do. But by then, maybe you'll have moved on. Maybe you'll have found people who actually deserve the rarity that is you. Because in this world, the loudest person is usually the most empty. The one bragging about how real they are is usually the fakest one in the room. But the one who is actually good, the one who actually has a soul, they don't need to advertise. They just are. So stand tall. Be the anchor. Be the rock. Be the reason they doubt their own cynicism. Let your goodness be the thing that haunts them. Let your integrity be the thing they fear. And when they finally realize that they cannot corrupt you, that they cannot break you, that they cannot drag you down into the mud with them, they will respect you. They will fear losing you. And they will know, without you uttering a single word, that you are the best thing that ever happened to them. But let's dig deeper, because there is a side to this that no one talks about. There is a dark side to being the light. You think it is all sunshine and saving people, but it is not. It is a burden, a heavy, crushing burden that would break an ordinary person. You're walking around carrying the emotional weight of everyone you meet. You absorb their trauma, you absorb their negativity, and you do it without complaining. You do it because that is who you are. But do not think for a second that this makes you soft. It makes you durable. It makes you a fortress that cannot be breached. You see, the reason they fear you is that they know deep down that you don't need them. The user always needs the used. The liar always needs the believer. The weak always need the strong. But the strong, the truly good, they don't need anyone. You are self-sustaining. You generate your own power. You generate your own validation. And in a world of parasites, the host is king. They are feeding off your energy, your kindness, your stability. If you walk away, they starve. If you cut them off, they wither. They know this. They feel it in their bones. That is why they test you. That is why they push you. They are terrified of the day you finally realize that you are carrying dead weight. And let's talk about that anger, the anger of a good person. There is nothing in this world more terrifying than when a patient man loses his patience. There is nothing more shocking than when the person who always forgives finally decides to punish. They think your silence is submission. They think your kindness is a lack of spine. They push and they push, poking the bear, thinking the bear is tame. But you are not tame. You are controlled. There is a massive difference. You have a beast inside of you just like they do. The difference is you have yours on a leash. They are slaves to their impulses. You are the master of yours. But when that leash comes off, when you decide that enough is enough, it is not a temper tantrum. It is a judgment. It is a reckoning. When a toxic person gets angry, they scream and shout. When a good person gets angry, they get quiet. They get cold. They make a decision that is final, and that is what haunts them. They know that if you leave, there is no coming back. They know that your bridge, once burned, is never rebuilt. That finality scares them to death. They are used to people playing games, breaking up and making up, the toxic cycle. But you don't cycle. You move forward. You ascend. You are the standard. That is what you must understand. You are the measuring stick by which they judge themselves and everyone else. When they meet someone new, they compare them to you. When they look in the mirror, they compare themselves to you. And they always fall short. You linger in their minds like a ghost. Even if you haven't spoken to them in years, you are still there. You are the voice in the back of their head telling them they could have been better. They could have been loyal. They could have been real. But they chose the easy path, and now they have to live with that. And you sleep like a baby because you have nothing to hide. You don't have to keep your lies straight. You don't have to remember which mask you wore for which person. You are the same person in the dark as you are in the light. That consistency is a weapon. It confuses them. They spend hours analyzing you, trying to find the crack in the armor, trying to find the hidden agenda. They gossip about you. They make up stories. They project their own filth onto you. Let them. It drives them mad that nothing sticks. It drives them insane that you remain unbothered.